Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah, but you can also call me Scribble if you like. And today we are going to be colouring in this colouring book here. Obviously not the whole colouring book because that would take weeks, but I'm going to be colouring in a page. Now this is actually a whole colouring kit thing here, as you can see, but I just couldn't remove the pens. I kind of wanted to test them out. I wasn't like serious about the pens that came with the set. I just wanted it for the cool Marvel colouring pages, but I couldn't even remove those pens, so I just kind of gave up, as you could see. Now I've actually seen a little bit of a trend where professional artists would colour in a children's colouring book, and I just really wanted to join in because I felt like it would be so much fun. And I was looking around for colouring in books and I found this Marvel one, which is just super cool because I love Marvel characters a lot. I really love the comic book style and I love all of the characters and Marvel movies and Marvel TV shows and stuff. I'm just really into that. And I actually realised that there is a page in here with Loki on it, and once I saw that, I knew that was the first one that I had to do. I love Loki, and also I am loving the Loki TV show that is airing on Disney Plus recently. It's so good, honestly. And yeah, that's basically why I chose to do this one here. Now I'm just starting off and I'm colouring in the gold parts of Loki's outfit at the moment first because well, it's the brightest part and I really want to concentrate on that metallic gold look. Today, as you can see, I'm just using some alcohol-based markers to colour it in, so obviously I'm not going to use any gold paint or anything like that, but we can get some pretty cool effects with these markers. Hopefully this paper is good enough to blend, because honestly I don't have big hopes. This paper is just like basic paper, it's not even that thick, so I'm a little bit worried about it bleeding, but it doesn't seem to be too bad at the moment, but we'll see what happens when I start layering colours over each other. So now we have a nice base color of yellow on this, and I'm actually really liking how it looks nice and flat, but I'm gonna go in and ruin that anyways because I want to add a lot of shading and highlights and stuff for the metal sheen. Now I do have like this really dark color here and it seems a little bit too dark at the moment. It's just like a browny greeny kind of color, and I'm just going into the shadows of this and I'm just adding in little bits here and there. I don't want to go too overboard, but after this we're going to blend it out and maybe add a few more colors. I have a sort of lighter greeny, yellowy, gold kind of color planned, and just a few other kind of yellows and stuff, and we're going to mix them and see how this turns out. So I'm liking how this is turning out now. It does have a little bit more dimension to the gold, but as you can see, I have moved on to some other areas. I have this really dark grey color, which is not black, even though it kind of looks a little bit black on the screen, but it's not. You can definitely see the texture behind a little bit, and I'm just going into the really dark parts of Loki's outfit, the ones that are like already shaded, and I'm just going to add this grey here and then we will move on from there. Let's move on to another color now. Here I have some green and I'm just going to be coloring in some green parts of Loki's outfit. I'm really excited about this because just adding more colors into an artwork, it really starts to come to life. Now I do have a few different greens. I actually have a dark green and a middle sort of green color that I'm actually using at the moment. And as you can see, I'm just leaving some sections which I'm going to go back in later with some highlights. Now for the shadows, I'm just going to layer more greens over the top of the greens that I am currently coloring, and then I'm going to blend that out with the green that I'm currently using. Okay, so Loki's looking pretty good now. Let's move on to the scepter that he is holding, which also is holding the Tesseract, and I love this thing from Avengers. It just looks super cool, and I'm excited to color it in. Now, I do have a reference on my phone, as you can sort of see in the corner there, and I'm just using that for basic colors and shadows so I can make sure that I have all of the colors correct, because if I color it in wrong, I'm probably going to get comments saying I colored it in wrong, which is fair enough, because if I did, then I did. But anyways, let's move on to that. I'm just using a little bit of a stippling motion here just to add a little bit of texture, because it's got that sort of rough metal kind of look to it, and I love adding texture and stuff to my artworks with my markers. I just find it so fun. But yeah, let's continue that. So now it's time to add in the skin tone. Now I am just using some markers here to add in just a little bit of shadows and stuff to the skin tone, and then after that I'm going to go in with a lighter beige color for his skin, because he is quite pale, and that's also going to blend in the shadows and stuff like that. Now I am only using markers today because honestly I love the look that markers have, and I feel like they're perfect for that sort of comic book style. I would have used a couple colored pencils and stuff too if I could, but I actually do not have access to my color pencils at the moment because they're somewhere else compared to where I am, and there's a lockdown, so I can't really leave the house or anything. But it shouldn't be too much a problem because these markers already look pretty good, and I'm happy with how they are working on the paper. Actually, it's not perfect. It is bleeding through to the back a little bit, but it's not like spreading out, which is what I was worried the ink would like spread into other sections, because sometimes that happens with paper and markers, but it's not actually doing that, so I am quite glad. So next I want to add some highlights to this piece, because the gold just doesn't look right without some bright highlights, and I also neglected to leave some, but we do have a trusty gel pen here which I just love using with my alcohol based markers. You can get some really nice thin crisp highlights, and it works pretty well. So I'm just adding in some highlights to edge pieces of this gold armor and I'm just doing it sparingly on like the edges and stuff, because I don't want to go too overboard, but Loki's armor is quite shiny and bright, so we're gonna add a good amount, I think. You know, not too much, but not enough. So next up is Nebula. Now she is looking quite menacing here with her big smile and her creepy eyes, and you know, I like it. I think it's pretty cool, and I don't have the exact perfect colors for her, but we're going to try our best here with this dark purple, and I'm going to try and blend it and have like a nice highlight in the middle of her forehead there, and let's just hope I can get it good, because I do not have a whole lot of purples, so we're probably going to have to like mix some blues and pinks in there and just see what we can do, but let's attempt that and hope it doesn't, you know, be a mistake. So yeah, her face is done, and you know what, it's not too bad actually. It is a little bit darker than I had hoped, but I did add a lot of highlights to her with that gel pen to try and bring some details back, and it doesn't look too bad. She definitely looks shiny, but she is part machine anyways, so I'm going to allow that. Now I'm just coloring in her arm here, and I'm just doing some different tones of grey because I believe this arm is like metal looking, and I definitely want to do that accurately, so we're doing that, and it's actually not too hard. I just add in a few layers of grey, and then I'll go in with a darker area, and then I will add in that grey to make shadows, and then later in I'll blend it out, and then I'll add more shadows and then more highlights later with a gel pen, and basically you get a, you know, believable metal kind of look. So now I'm just going to go in with her body, and I'm just using the same purple that I did for her face here. And for the other parts of her outfit, I think I'm going to do the same thing with the highlight on her forehead. I'm going to layer in some pinks and some blues to try and get a lighter purple because I do not have many purples, as I mentioned earlier, and it worked pretty well for her forehead, as you can see, so I feel like it's going to work well for her body as well. So now that we have most of the work of these characters done, I do want to go into the background to try and fill in the page as much as I can, and I have decided on a red background. Now as you can see, I'm just using a sort of desaturated dark red here. Now this color is called Old Red, and I actually very much like this color. And I'm just going to try my best to get a nice gradient. Now the markers that I'm using today don't have a brush tip, but you can still blend okay without a brush tip actually, and I'm just going to blend it with a lighter red and see what we can do with that. Now this table here is absolutely filthy. Everything you can see on this table is basically ink that has bled through the page onto the table, and let's just say this paper doesn't do very well with bleed through. I'll show you the back of the paper later, but we're gonna have to clean this up with a bit of alcohol if we want to continue. So now all I pretty much have to do at the moment is just coloring in this metal ball thing that Nebula is holding. Now I can't actually remember 100% what the metal ball thing is. It doesn't look like the orb that's holding one of the Infinity Stones from the movie. I have no idea. Maybe some of you guys in the comments could tell me what it is, because it doesn't look like the orb. It's got more of a mechanical look to it. Maybe it is it from the comics or something. I don't know. But I'm just going to color in a generic metal look because it does look like it is made out of machinery. So I'm just going to use a bunch of different greys, warm and cool, and hope it looks alright, you know? So anyways, here is the final results of this video, and to be honest, I had so much fun coloring this in, and I feel like it looks pretty good, and I did as much as I could with the art supplies that I have at hand, and I really love the final results. Coloring with markers is one of my favorite things to do with art, so I'm really glad that I was able to do this today, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do it as well. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It super helps me out. And comment below if you have done any coloring pages yourself, or if you're watching the Loki series, because honestly I love it so much, and I'm very excited about watching the last episode tonight. Depending what time this video goes up, it's probably already out, so yeah, comment below what you think of the episode, I guess, if you watch it. I hope you all are staying safe out there, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye everyone.